The Dyatlov Pass Incident is one of the most chilling and mysterious events in modern history. It took place in the winter of 1959 in the Ural Mountains of the then Soviet Union. The case involves the unexplained deaths of 9 experienced hikers and has spawned countless theories ranging from natural disasters to secret military experiments and even supernatural involvement. Background: in January 1959, a group of 10 ski hikers, 8 men and 2 women, mostly students or graduates from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, set out on a trek across the Ural Mountains in Sverdlovsk Oblast. The group was led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student known for his competence and leadership. The expedition aimed to reach the peak of Otorten, a remote and challenging route in the northern Urals. One of the hikers, Yuri Yudin, had to turn back early due to illness. This decision ultimately saved his life. The remaining 9 continued on their journey and were never seen alive again. The discovery: when the group failed to return by the expected date of February 12, 1959, a search operation was launched. On February 26, rescuers discovered the group's campsite on the eastern slope of Kholat Syakhl, which in the local Mansi language means, dead mountain. Their tent was found badly damaged, partially buried in snow, and most disturbingly, it had been cut open from the inside. The scene was chaotic. The hikers had fled the tent in the middle of the night, some of them barefoot or in socks, others wearing only light clothing despite freezing temperatures dropping as low as -30 degrees Celsius (-22 degrees Fahrenheit). Their footprints led down the slope to the edge of a nearby forest. The bodies. The first 2 bodies found were those of Yuri Krivonishenko and Yuri Doroshenko, both discovered near the forest line under a large cedar tree. They were nearly naked and had burn marks on their hands and feet, suggesting they may have tried to build a fire or had been exposed to extreme heat. Soon after, rescuers found the bodies of Igor Dyatlov, Zina Kolmogorova, and Rustam Slobodin at various distances between the tree and the tent. All appeared to have died from hypothermia, though Slobodin had a fractured skull. The positions of the bodies suggested they had been trying to return to the tent. It wasn't until 2 months later that the last 4 bodies were discovered buried under 4 meters of snow in a ravine deeper in the forest. These bodies, those of Lyudmila Dubinina, Semyon Zolotaryov, Alexander Kolevatov, and Nikolai Thibault-Brignol, displayed horrific injuries. Thibault-Brignol had major skull damage, Dubinina and Zolotaryov had shattered ribs and massive internal trauma, yet there were no visible external wounds. Dubinina's tongue, eyes, and parts of her lips were missing. The medical examiner stated the force required to inflict such injuries was comparable to a car crash. Investigation and theories. The Soviet authorities opened an investigation, but it concluded with a vague explanation: the hikers died due to a compelling natural force. The case was quickly closed, and the files were archived, fueling suspicions of a cover-up. Several theories have been proposed over the years. 1. Avalanche theory suggests an avalanche forced the hikers to flee their tent in panic. However, the slope was not steep enough, and there were no signs of a typical avalanche. 2. Katabatic wind, a sudden, violent downward wind that could have created conditions prompting the hikers to flee. This theory gained traction in recent years due to similar incidents. 3. Infrasound, a phenomenon where wind passing over the mountains could generate low-frequency sounds causing panic and disorientation. 4. Military involvement, some believe the group wandered into a secret weapons testing area. Radiation was reportedly found on some of the clothing, and unusual orange skin tints were noted on the bodies. 5. Paranormal or extraterrestrial, reports of strange lights in the sky, coupled with the bizarre injuries and lack of logical explanation, have led to theories involving UFOs or supernatural forces. 6. Mansi attack. Early in the investigation, suspicion fell on the indigenous Mansi people, but there was no evidence of struggle or human confrontation, and this theory was ruled out. Conclusion. Despite decades of research, speculation, and renewed investigations, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most puzzling unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. The Russian government reopened the case in 2019 and officially concluded in 2020 that the hikers died due to hypothermia caused by an avalanche. However, many experts and researchers remain unconvinced. The lack of solid evidence, conflicting reports, and the strange circumstances of the hikers' deaths continue to invite questions. To this day, the Dyatlov Pass incident captures the imagination of investigators, conspiracy theorists, and storytellers around the world.